This crane costs $4 million. It just took a job worth nearly $1 million. The mission? Fix a broken wind turbine, 280 feet in the air, in 25 days flat. But on day one, the worst weather of the year hit the mountain. The crane froze solid overnight. Then 60 mph gusts nearly knocked the whole thing over. And with 4 days left on the clock, they hadn't even started the repair. This is the story of the most insane heavy lift job I've ever covered. Let's get into it. Before we talk about the job, you need to understand what kind of machine we're dealing with. Most wind turbine cranes use what's called a main boom plus a luffing jib. One arm, one extension, standard setup. This crane, it runs a dual main boom configuration, boom on top of boom. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. And honestly, in the crane world, there's basically nothing else like it. We're talking about a 1,000 metric ton rated crane. For reference, that's the weight of about 700 cars, lifted off the ground. To get started, a support crane loads 107 tons of counterweight onto the back. Those counterweights are chained in, and at full extension, the whole rig stretches high enough to reach the top of this 280-foot turbine comfortably. When it's fully assembled and standing on a mountaintop, it's legitimately one of the most impressive machines I've ever seen in person. Here's the thing about wind turbine work that nobody talks about. You don't control the schedule. The weather does. Wind turbine lifts have a hard limit. Wind speeds above 13 mph, and the job shuts down. Go over that, and you're not just losing time, you're risking a crane boom snapping under load. On day one of assembly, the wind picks up. They wait. 4 straight days of wind. Nothing moves. Then on day 5, it snows. Not a light dusting, I mean a full mountain whiteout. And overnight, temperatures drop so hard that by morning, the entire job site looks like a museum of ice sculptures. The crane hook, frozen. The steel cables, frozen. The site office door, literally frozen shut. And the crane itself? It's now wearing what I can only describe as a limited edition ice skin. Every single day of delay costs tens of thousands of dollars. The clock is running, and they haven't lifted a single thing. At this point, 10 of their 25 days are gone. Finally, a weather window opens. The crew rushes to the top of the mountain and gets moving immediately. Because in this business, a clear day can disappear in 20 minutes. First job, 2 workers get loaded into a crane basket and lifted nearly 300 feet into the air in open mountain wind to manually wrap 6 large protective fabric slings around the turbine blades. Let me be honest with you. I've been around a lot of job sites, and watching 2 guys calmly work at that altitude, in that wind, like it's just another Tuesday. It's one of the most impressive things I've seen. Once the slings are secured, the crew rotates the turbine blades by hand to position them at the exact angle needed for the lift. Wind picks back up. Work stops again. Before the crew leaves for the night, they cable the crane hook to a steel plate on the ground. Why? Because at that height, an unsecured hook swinging in overnight wind can generate enough force to tip the entire crane over. Yeah. They think about stuff like that. Days pass, fog rolls in. More wind, more fog. The crew waits and waits. Here's where the pressure becomes almost unbearable. At the halfway point of this job, they haven't completed a single one of the 4 required phases. Remove the turbine assembly, transport it down for repair, reinstall it, and get the crane off the mountain. With 4 days left, the fog finally lifts. The team has one shot. This is the moment everything's been building to. The slings go on the hook. One worker stays up in the nacelle, the turbine's cockpit, to radio down real-time position corrections. Because here's something most people don't realize. A crane boom this long flexes under load, like a giant fishing rod. The hook drifts. If it's not perfectly centered on the turbine's center of gravity, the whole thing swings, and at this scale, a swing is catastrophic. All the turbine bolts come out. The crane takes the load. The turbine lifts, slowly, cleanly, off the tower. A second crane moves in to control the lower blades as the assembly is lowered horizontally to the ground. This part alone takes 6 hours of slow, deliberate, radio-coordinated movement. 21 days in, the turbine is finally on the ground. 4 days left. The repair team tears into the turbine. Culprit: a single failed ring gear, the main drive component that makes the whole thing spin. A $30,000 part, replaced in under a day. Blades back on. Nacelle buttoned up. Day 2 of 4. 60 mph winds. The mountain shuts everything down again. Day 3. Still too much wind. Day 4. Last chance. The crew wakes up before sunrise and checks the weather. The window is maybe 2 hours. Wind speed just under the limit. Everyone moves. The turbine goes back on the hook. Workers fan out around the base, holding taglines, long ropes used to prevent the assembly from spinning or swinging during the lift. As the turbine rises back up the tower, the entire crew goes quiet. Nobody's joking, nobody's on their phone. You can hear the wind. The nacelle team guides the turbine shaft home, and the moment the bolts start going in, you can feel the tension break across the whole job site. Wrenches come out, bolts torque down. Done. The team turns around, and the sunset over that mountain is something else. On every other day out here, a sunset meant another night of waiting, another day of the clock running. Tonight, it meant they were going home. The crane spent the next day being broken down. 107 tons of counterweight loaded onto flatbeds, the boom sections lifted off in pairs, and finally the crane itself driving back down the mountain under its own power. This machine has been doing jobs like this for over a decade. A lot of newer, bigger cranes have come along since, but when the mountain's too steep, the job's too remote, or the weather's too unpredictable, this is still the one they call. If you made it this far, drop a comment below. What's the most insane piece of heavy equipment you've ever seen work in bad conditions? Subscribe if you want more videos like this. I cover heavy machinery and engineering projects all over the world, and the next one is going to be even bigger. See you in the next one.